Hello and welcome to JV West round 4 after an extended break due to a bit of an issue with doors. We are back in JV West, and as we are back, let's just take a refresher on how our constructors and drivers standings are looking. Here's our drivers championship at the current moment, with Kader in the lead with 2 race wins at 63 points. You have Shiloh in second, also has gotten second in all 3 races so far and has 55 points. Then it is Razim for Electric Racing, then we have Mr. Crunk in fourth for Matzer Motorsport, half the points of third. Then it's G4, Mascabrave as Juan, Charged GT with 15, Gamer 15, Cloud rounds out the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship. Then we have Hyper Mustang, Pro Lime 4, to Foley 99, Boken 34, Kraft, Smalls, and 4 drivers so far have not managed to score any points, and those are Edward Tito's, Emma Box, Ellie, and Balti. Now going over to the Constructors' Championship, Russell British Racing have an enormous lead of 68 points, but they've spent all of their tokens, all 20 tokens, in the first 3 rounds, and now it'll be a matter of can they keep that lead, and can they score points without any tokens. They've got 118 points at the current moment. Electric Racing behind them has 50 points. One of their drivers has spent all his tokens, the other one has not spent any at all. And they're also not spending any tokens tonight. So the top 2 teams in the Constructors aren't spending any tokens in the Estoril J-Prix today. Flying Fox are in third with 31 points. Then it's close fight for that as Matzer and Gull are tied for fourth with 27 points each, just 4 points away from Flying Fox. Then we have the Monkey Racing, INR, Acosta Motorsport, Avionics Racing, and finally Burger Koloski Racing currently in last with 2 points, but still anyone's game as we have 5 rounds until the end, only 3 rounds driven so far. And of course, only the champions of Journeyman Virtual West, only the champions which currently Russell British Racing are on first, hoping to get that championship, only they get promoted to Challenger Virtual. So we will see how it goes. Let's now get over to the race, to the qualifying. Here we go. While we do qualifying, let me take you through the token spend. For here, look, fastest lap. Here's the Estoril track, completely random grid, and let's see, one token being spent by Hyper Mustang, 4 tokens being spent by Juan, 2 tokens spent by both INR drivers Edvarditos and Gamer 15 today, 1 token each from Smalls, Charged GT, Pro Lime, and Tifole of the Avionics and the Monkey Racing teams, 3 tokens being spent by Balti of Audi Acosta, 2 tokens spent both by Mr. Crunk and Kraft from Matzer Motorsport, and finally 3 tokens spent by Emma Box. So a lot of 1 token spent. Interesting to see how INR and Matzer get on, and of course the 4 token spender of Juan, 3 token spender of Balti, and 3 token spender of Emma Box. How will they be able to perform? Right now we can see we have Kraft with the fastest time of 39.80. Looks like the JV West cars are really struggling on this track. Right now it is Kraft and provisional ball, but now we go into the second lap. Will anyone be able to improve? It's hard to say. Really a lot more needed in terms of grip here. Drivers will probably be heading into the pits at the end of this lap. I think that'd be the correct choice. Right now, yeah, we have Kraft on provisional pole, Emma Box provisionally second, then Botti, Juan, Ellie, Shiloh, Masker Bravest, Tifole, Mr. Crunk, and Cloud. Big disparity between Kraft and Mr. Crunk in terms of fastest lap. Though I guess that was the opening lap, really, and now they're heading into the pits. Will be enough for a flying lap? That's hard to say. Pit lane has no markings either. That's quite concerning, I'd say. Now they are on their outlap. And we've got Ellie in the lead. And he's got to finish this outlap before the timer runs out. And I doubt he's going to do it. So we're going to have quite weird circumstances here. Though it will be very close. So can he just get past this gravel trap here on his outlap? Now 8 seconds to the end of the straight. 5, 4, 3, and we are going to have a flying lap of racing, all thanks to Ellie. So thank you for that, Ellie. We might see some interesting stuff here. Juan on his outlap, on provisional pole now. It's all thanks to Ellie, who just about managed to finish that outlap before the timers ran out. And now, as a result, everyone gets to do their flying lap. And Ellie will of course be the first one across the line. Gotta be careful if this gravel trap gets very slowed down by it. Looks like everyone gets slowed down tons by it. And now the final straight. Doesn't look like an improvement from him. And indeed is Juan on pole position. Very weird qualifying to restart the season. But we'll have to do Emma Box. We'll be starting from third. Kraft from second, and we'll see results in just a sec. So here are the qualifying results. We have Juan on pole position, then Kraft, Emma Box, Botti will be starting from fourth, Ellie from fifth, then we have Shiloh, Tifole, and Masker Brave is tied. Tifole will be starting seventh by finishing quicker this session. Mr. Crunk ninth, then Cloud 10th. We have Edvertitos, G4, Gamer, Prolime, Charge GT, Cadder, Razim, Smalls, Hyper Mustang, and Boken. So let's think, what do these results show us? Well, first of all, let's take a look at Go Motorsports. Hyper Mustang spending 1 token, G4 spending none, and G4 has had a much better qualifying. He might be able to fight for points, but I think we'll have to see. What about Flying Fox? Masker Bravest with no tokens, qualified 8th, and Juan of course spending 4. Nobody to challenge him. One of the best cars on the grid. I think Juan is in it to win it this race. Of course, pole position. What about NR? Edvertitos and Gamer both spending 2 tokens, 11th and 13th, so not the best, but they can challenge for some points. With that higher token spent, Smalls and Charge GT 1 token each, 15th and 18th. That's definitely not a good qualifying. Prolime and Tifole. Prolime qualified 14th, Tifole 7th with just 1 token. So that will be interesting to see how they continue into the race. Audi Costa Body spending 3 tokens has qualified 4th. Cloud spending none has qualified 10th. So that's a good qualifying for them, and they'll be hoping for points in the race, maybe double points. Ellie, of course, spending no tokens and qualified 5th. That's incredible. Razim only qualified 17th, spending no tokens. So we'll see how they can perform in the race. And Russell British Racing, similar thing as Electric Racing. Shiloh, no tokens, 6th place in the qualifying. That's incredible. Catter only 16th. Matter, we've got Mr. Crunk 9th, Kraft 2nd, both spending 2 tokens, so this looks like a solid qualifying and looks to be a solid race for them. And finally, Burger Kowalski Emma will be starting from 3rd with 3 tokens, and Boken starting from last with none. So, of course, we'll have to see until the race what will happen. Let's find out. Estel Real J-Prix restart of Season 3 of JV West. Let's get right into it. Here we go. Juan has a quick start, so does Emma Box, but Juan is already speeding off like a rocket ship. Look at that lead. In just a few turns, he's got over a second advantage, and he's gone on the softs, of course, and Botty's gone on the hards, Kraft on the mediums. We've got Emma, and Maska is up into 5th, so it's looking good for Flying Fox. Shiloh there as well. Kraft is dropping some positions, going into the gravel trap. There goes Juan, Emma Box, Botty. It's a very hard gravel trap, and it can slow you down a lot if you don't manage to get it right. Kraft 4th, Mr. Crunk 6th, looking good for Matzer so far. Juan has of course ran away with it, and Emma Box is looking to run away into 2nd, but Botti is keeping up quite well on the hards. And of course, it'll be interesting to see the strategy here, as it is quite an intensive track on the tyres, and the softs might not last long at all. I guess we'll have to find out. Some time got gained there, but just lost it in the gravel trap. Botti still holding on behind Emma, looking to go side by side. Doesn't just quite have the speed to get ahead. Going into turn 1, gets forced wide. Botti still holding on to the podium position, but here comes Kraft, and Mr. Crunk is up to 5th. Excellent stuff for the Matzer Motorsport drivers. Masker Brave is leading this pack, trying to get away from them. He's doing a good job with 0 tokens to follow behind them with 1. Then we have Hyper, Shiloh, Ellie. Edward Tito's in 11th at the current moment. Looks like 0 points for INR so far, despite a total of 4 tokens being spent by the entire team. Then we have Boken, Cloud, Smalls, Catter, Gamer, Charge JT, Proline, G4, Razim, all lost in this gravel trap conundrum. Juan still leading's got the fastest lap of 38.50, and it doesn't look like anything will stop him now. Emma Box holding on to 2nd quite solidly, despite these softs starting to show signs of wear. Botti behind, running in 3rd. Keeping off Kraft, and Jesus, the slowdown from Emma on the gravel trap there slows down Botti and Kraft behind him as well. And Kraft looking for an overtake on Botti now, does have the extra speed to run through and get 3rd. Makes a mistake on turn 1, and Botti's right back into 3rd. You can see the tire wear really having an effect now. Will Juan pit this lap? Will he run 6 laps as it is predicted to be? Or will he have to pit a lap early? I guess we'll see him at Box, Balti, Kraft. Mr. Crunk still looking the same here to Foley, has gotten up into 6th. Then we have Masker Bravish, Shiloh and Ellie coming up, both tokenless. Both important for the constructors, and yes, Juan is indeed pitting a lap early. Emma Box has stayed out, and that's a mistake. Botti is into the lead of the race at the current moment, but Juan, of course, provisional lead. Masker Bravas is off, so pitted a lap early. Flying Fox clearly could not handle the lack of grip on this track, on the softs, and now Juan going for another set of softs actually, but Masker Bravas has opted for the hards. Botti in the lead of the race still, and he's got a massive lead at the current moment. Juan gets past all the drivers on their worn out tires already, and they've yet to pit. And here goes in Kraft, Emma Box, one on the mediums, the other on the softs, and they're pitting on the same lap. Very interesting. Kraft on the spec softs instead. Emma Box also softs again. Ellie gets ahead of them as a result. Botti still has somewhat of a lead. Of course, it's getting closed by Juan on his way fresher tires, but you can see Botti is quite delivering on those hards. I think he'll have to pit soon, however. And it's really a crazy track in terms of tire wear. He stays out. Maybe he's looking for a bit of boost from Juan, but Juan is just running away. No boost to be had, and Juan is right back into the lead of the race on the 8th lap of 23, and he's got just set the fastest lap of 37.77, faster than anything we saw in qualifying. Botti in second, Kraft running third, then Mr. Crunk still out on those mediums, still ahead of Emma Box, who's on fresh softs, however. Emma Box looks to try and change that. Going in for a move now, a bit aggressive, but it does the job, gets the job done. And Emma Box is up into fourth. When will Botti pit? Not this lap is the answer. Looks like you have to pit lap 9. Juan is runaway now. Next time he pets, he will actually probably be able to pet out into first place yet again. What does this mean for RBR? Shiloh is running in 6th at the current moment on fresh hards, so he is doing quite well. Kader in 14th, struggling a bit more. What can you say? He's up into 13th right now. He's on somewhat fresh. Mediums looking to catch Ellie and Smalls who are battling up ahead. Botti is into the pets. Kraft gets past him. Emma Box gets past him. And it looks like we've got setbacks here. Juan is away with the lead. No one can catch him now. Then we have Kraft, Emma Box, and Botti battling for second place for a podium position. And finally, Masca, Shiloh, Hyper, Tifole, Mr. Crunk will look to battle for 5th place. Mr. Crunk has lost a lot of time staying out on those mediums the first time, and he is currently running down in 9th. Oh, and we're going to have light rain. That's not good news for Mr. Crunk or Botti, who still have a bit to catch up, and everyone's into the pits now. Juan has missed the pits. He's so far ahead. Will this cost him? He does have very worn softs. Kraft opts for enters Emma and Botti onto wets. See Masca onto wets. Shiloh is onto the wets as well. Tifole, Hyper onto the wets. Crunk onto the wets. Juan loses a lot of time there, but it's going back to Cloudy. So Kraft with the best choice of them all to pit onto enters. Juan will have to pit for dries anyway, so I assume he'd pit for the dries here. If he pits for the wet tires, that will be a massive mistake, but don't count anything out just yet. No, he pits onto dries. That's the correct choice. Now it's going to sunny, so the track will dry up even faster. Kraft catches Juan, but of course Kraft will still have to pit an extra time, so it's not about catching Juan, it's about can he get an entire pit stop length ahead of them before the rain runs out, and he can't because the track is dry right now, and we'll see a bit of struggling from the drivers who are still out on the inters and the wets. A lot of drivers have just pitted. Juan now catching Kraft, going through the gravel trap. Kraft makes a mistake, and we've got Botti behind, who's still on the wets as well, losing a lot of time. He's pit stop behind Emma Box, who has nearly caught to him, and this will be very, very influential in the battle for second place. Juan now into the lead of the race. Emma Box gets second thanks to that early pit. We're over halfway through the race, and Emma Box is currently in second, Kraft in third. Botti has lost tons of time. He's down in fourth. Masker Bravas could even challenge him. He's down in fifth. Tifole sixth. Then we have Hyper. Then we have Mr. Crunk and Shiloh battling for eighth. Mr. Crunk has really lost quite a bit of positions with that earlier medium stint, and he's looking to regain those. They need a good result, Mazda Motorsport, to keep on going the way they've been going. Quite a great debut from this team, and they definitely aren't going for anything less than that, and it looks like battle for second has dissipated. Kraft is losing more and more time to Emma Box ahead despite having slightly fresher tires. Botti is running in fourth quite solidly, but he is quite catching actually. He is catching Kraft incredibly quickly. That may be owed to Kraft's slow pace at the current moment. See Emma Box with a 38.83, Kraft with a 40.35, while Botti gets a 38.70. Kraft is really struggling right now, and why might this be? Let's take a look at the car stats right now. Here's the car stats. Of course, we've had a speed upgrade and a triple turbo upgrade, making a quadruple upgrade in 1 week for Matzer Motorsport, which has been quite an incredible achievement for them. Then we've also had successful speed upgrades from Gull and INR, successful Excel upgrade from The Monkey, and successful grip upgrade from Avionics and Ellie, and double successful grip upgrade for Audi Costa. And that's about it. Russell British Racing still the strongest car, Flying Fox second strongest, but Matzer and Ellie have been closing that gap. So yeah, that's the look at the car stats, but he hasn't quite closed that gap with Kraft. He is working on it, but those tires are slowly starting to show their wear on both of them, making mistakes into the gravel trap, and Botti hits the gravel trap quite hard there, but doesn't lose too much time. As Emma Box has actually caught quite a few seconds on Juan. That is incredible stuff. Juan is on more worn out but better tires, but Emma Box is closing the gap, and it's under 4 seconds at the current moment. That is very, very interesting. Kraft is just losing more time. Botti looks to be in the running for a podium position if he can just catch Kraft, gets slowed down by Charge JT there, makes a little switch back, doesn't lose too much time through the gravel trap. Emma Box is less than 2 seconds away from Juan. What has prompted the sudden pace? That is quite something. We thought Juan had run away with the victory, but here is Emma Box right behind him, and Juan will probably have to pit. Will Emma Box have to pit as well? Will they have to pit? They've got 5 laps left to run, and I don't think their tires will be able to run that long. G4 slows down both of the drivers now. Juan makes a mistake, so does Emma Box for the gravel trap, but Emma Box is not that far behind Juan at the current moment. Will Juan pit? No, neither will Emma Box. Juan is pulling away on the straight now. Meanwhile, Botti has dropped a bit behind. Kraft, Masca and Toffoli fighting for 5th. Emma Box has lost a bit of time to Juan. Will be able to regain it through these hairpins that are really, really demanding on the tires. Juan into this wide hairpin. Loses a bit of time to Emma Box. Emma is just less than a second behind, slams into the back of Juan, slows them down a lot, and it's all about the gravel trap here. Oh, and Juan gets forced out by Gamer, by the blue flag driver of Gamer, and Emma Box is into the lead of the race, doesn't go into the pits. Juan does. He's going to undercut Emma Box right now, right after losing the lead. Kraft up into second as a result. Juan, of course, onto the softs for just 3 more laps. And can Emma's really worn out hards, can they take this long? That's the question here. Botti up into 3rd, did not manage to close that gap to Kraft. It looks like the hards are really profiting out here. Toffoli is in 5th, but Hyper Mustang right behind Masca. Down into 7th, though mediums are really, really dead. Then we have Shiloh, Mr. Crunk, and Boken occupying the final points position. Charge JT not far behind. Emma Box trying to crawl their way to the finish line. They will not be pitting. Juan is already past Kraft. And Emma Box, despite having victory in their grasp, it's a very, very controversial decision to stay out, as Juan has basically closed the gap once again. They should have pitted. They should have pitted just like Juan did. It was a risky undercut, but it's one that has just boosted him right back into 1st, despite surprisingly losing the lead. He is right back where he was, and he is on to win this race. Emma Box, Kraft, Botti, look at all those drivers not pitting. All of them losing tons of time. Charge GT is now into the points. He's one of the drivers who has pitted and is on fresh tires, and as a result, he's gotten ahead of Boken. Right now, it's easily Juan's victory here on the penultimate lap. Still holds the fastest lap of the race. made the right strategic decision. Of course, neither the mediums nor the hards were going to last until the end of the race. Gets really slowed down by Catter there, but that won't be enough. Emma Box's hards are just completely worn out now, and Kraft has that one lap fresher advantage, and that's gained him a bit of time, but his hards are, of course, not much better either. Juan's on his final lap now, ready to take that checkered flag and the victory at the Estro J-Prix. We had a tiny flash of a surprise lead from Emma Box, but Juan made the right decision by undercutting, by going that extra pit onto the softs. He did save a pit in the rain as well. And now he's on the final straight. And here goes Juan to give Flying Fox their first victory this season. It's Juan across the line, 16 minutes and 7 seconds and 200s in for first place. Emma Box gets Burger Koloski Racing, who, mind you, were last in constructors before this round, and now they've got a podium position. Second place for Emma Box, third place a podium for Kraft and for Matsar. Botti just outside the podium. It's fourth for the Audi Acosta driver. Hyper Mustang looks to have just gotten ahead of Tifoli, but anything goes into this final straight. Tifoli is still close behind. No, he doesn't have enough speed. It's Hyper Mustang across the line in fifth, Tifoli in sixth, Masca Bravas, no tokens, running in seventh. Charge GT did pit onto fresh tires, but those fresh tires are no longer that fresh. Will he still be able to get ahead of Masca here? He's got a big chance, and Masca gets pushed out wide there. Kraft meddling a bit as well. And Charge JT, will he be across the line in 7? Masca is actually gaining some time on him, but it will be Charge JT just 100 ahead of Masca Bravas. Masca Bravas finishes 8th, and Edward Tito's just ahead of Mr. Crunk for 9th. He pitted for softs as well, and look, out of the points, and he's back into the Mr. Crunk, just gets the final points position. Shiloh without any points at all for Russell British Racing, and that'll be a huge loss for the constructors. What a race, and what a fight at the end with the strategy, with a bit of mistakes here and there, but ultimately 26 points go to Juan and Flying Fox, and Mats are definitely the victors, both with double points this weekend. Certainly a way to resume the season. Hope you guys enjoyed, and that will be all from me. We'll see you next time at the Barcelona J-Prix. So yeah, see you then. Bye bye.